Welcome to this week's YouTube Live and the podcast. My name's RD. Welcome to the Waterfowl Den. Let's get started. Hopefully, everybody's having a good week this week. Man, it's the first full week of turkey season here in South Carolina, and I hope y'all are struggling as much as I am. Boy, I tell you, I think that weather that we had has definitely got them turkeys all discombobulated because we went from cool temperatures to 90 degrees swatting mosquitoes. Now it's like 30 something, 40 degrees this morning. Um, it's crazy. So, April the 3rd was the opening of turkey season. So, this was the first whole week. Hopefully, y'all already got one of your tags filled, but Saturday was the opening day for me. I went to some public land. I really want to get a bird on public land this year. So I started out at public land and I started early too. I got there about 5 o'clock. It was pretty early. The sun don't come up to like 6:45. Like sun just starting to get a little bit light in the sky at 6:45. So I was there an hour and a half early, and the truck was already where I was going to be. They were still sitting in the truck. I got out, talked to them, and asked them where they were going, and they showed me where they were going. That's exactly where I wanted to go, and I didn't want to be that one guy who parks 100 yards down, and we both go through the woods. One of us eventually probably would bump a turkey, and it would probably screw up both of us for hunting. So I didn't want to be that guy. So I went to another area in this, I don't even know, probably 1,000+ acres of game management, and didn't hear a bird. It was quiet as a mouse. So that's how it goes. Left there, went to another game management spot. There were already 2 trucks there, and this was starting to get into the day, early morning time. And I was like, I'm not messing up some other hunter. So I called it a day and went back to the house. That afternoon, I went back, try to find something in the afternoon. Still nothing. Didn't see nothing, didn't hear nothing. Sunday rolls around. We go to this private because you can't hunt public in South Carolina on a Sunday. So I go to this private area on Sunday, and I'm taking my buddy with me, and we're waiting, and finally hear a gobble. We set up near where this gobble is, and you can tell the bird's still on the roost. Bird finally flies down. You can hear him on the ground. He sounds like he's coming to you. Complete silence. Probably 45 minutes has gone by. We got that urge. Should we move? Should we go somewhere else? And I'm like, well, you know what they always say? Just whatever you're doing, you need to think and sit just a little bit longer. So that's what I done. We sit there for a little bit longer. And sure enough, that daggone Tom popped his head up in the field, but he was 150 yards away. That jerker was gobbling when he call and gobbled, coming. I'm like, yeah, buddy, my buddy's fixing to get his first turkey. That jerker got about 80 yards, and there was like a little hump. When he went down into that hump, we couldn't see where he was going to pop up. He got on that hump, and all you could see was his head sticking up. And he was about 80 yards. And with the new rules in South Carolina, you cannot shoot a Jake at all. So without seeing the fan, without seeing, the beard, didn't want to take the chance. That TSS with that choke 100% would have stone cold took that turkey any day of the week. Guarantee it. But not seeing, we didn't take the shot. That bird stayed there for 5 minutes, just hung up. Another gobble came to the left of us. That bird started looking that way, looking, and then just took tail and ran off. So I don't know what happened. I don't know if that was a tom and the one we heard was a bunch of jakes, and the tom said, you know what, I ain't looking for a fight today, and took off, or the one that we heard in the woods was a tom and that was a jake, and the jake said, you know what, he's bigger and I run off. So regardless, the bird still lived, and that one can tell for a different tell on a different day for sure. But that's how opening weekend went for us for sure. So hopefully, like I said, hopefully y'all doing a little bit better. Um just a little side note. On this day, April the 9th, in 1769, George Washington recorded in his diary that he went fox hunting and captured a fox alive and pursuing it to a tree. Thought that was pretty neat history, a little tidbit for the day. He also noted he went hunting with his two friends. Although they started hunting, they didn't catch anything. So it's pretty neat. And this day in April the 9th, 2010, the Washington Field and Wildlife Commission discussed to set new hunting regulations. They changed the season and permit and draw in their game. So that's a little tidbit that went on in today in 1979 for George Washington. That was pretty neat to see. George Washington wrote that he went fox hunting and captured a fox alive. Wonder if he put him in his hat. That would be interesting. Definitely got some people watching. What y'all up to? Y'all enjoying the cool weather? You want the warmer weather to come back? I think we're going to get some rain over the next couple of days. I saw something very interesting that we started. Last week we started the podcast and YouTube live off with talking about the storms that were impacting the middle section of the United States. There were 81 tornadoes last week during that tornado outbreak. 81 tornadoes that they confirmed as touchdown. So, when we were talking about them tornadoes and talking about how bad they were bad. And now looking at it, all the flooding in Tennessee and Nashville, and there's parts of the rivers, especially in the Mississippi. Mississippi has definitely have been low for a long period of time. So that was much needed rain in the Mississippi River, but not exactly as fast or as much as they needed it. There's a lot of flooding up there. I watched an interesting video of a store owner who had a business and knew it was going to flood. They knew it was coming. So him and his crew took everything, elevated everything up, shut the doors, sealed the doors, and then filled the building up with water. So they turned every faucet, every sink, everything on, and filled the inside of the business full of water. And he's recording it, and he's walking around inside the business, and he's saying, hey, yeah, we were going to get water damage. We knew we was going to get water damage. At least when the water outside recedes, the water inside is clean. It's not dirty. It's not bacteria. It doesn't have all this stuff in it. And he's standing in front of the windows there, and he's showing how nasty the water is on the other side versus how clean the water is inside his business. And I thought that was very interesting. Yeah, he's going to have damage, which he was going to have it anyway, but at least it's clean water versus all that mud and silt and everything else. And what he was talking about is if you could pump the same amount of water coming in, it keeps the pressure on the windows so they wouldn't break. So I thought that was very interesting. That was definitely a different take on, hey, my business is going to flood. What do I do? He looked like he was walking around in a swimming pool. That's how clean the water was. So obviously, his method of protecting his business definitely worked. Very, very interesting. Um, Getting back to that turkey that was hung up at 80 yards, I definitely would like to have some, you know, comments on what would y'all done. Like the turkey was hung up, uh, would not move. Like he was just looking. 100%, 100%. He could not see my decoys. Um, do y'all hunt with decoys? Turkey decoys? Do you just put a hen out, hen and a jake? I always heard, don't put the jake out until later. Um, some people don't run any decoys. I definitely would like to know y'all's opinion on that. So comment, or you watching this later, definitely comment, because I'm telling you, that bird sitting at that 80 yards has ate at me all week. Like, I mean, it just looked like that turkey just sit there and went nana, nana, nana. And I promise you that TSS would have 100% whacked that joker in the head. But just could not take the chance of it possibly being a jake, because our new state law says it cannot be a jake. His tail fins have to be completely rounded, and his beard has to be 6 inches. I just wasn't taking the chance at 80 yards. I mean, it's hard. It's hard to walk away and say, "Hey, regardless, he's there another day." If he was a big Tom, and if he wasn't a Tom and he was a Jake, hopefully he'll be there next year. So, what do y'all do? What is there any kind of like calling that y'all would have done? Um, I tried the don't say anything, like didn't use a call, waited and waited. That didn't work because he didn't move. Tried to call, still didn't move. We can't do no fanning, so that's off the table. So I don't know. I got in mind maybe what I might try next time with the decoys, but I'd like to know what y'all do. Do y'all just strictly run and gun, or leave the decoys at home, or what? While that turkey was out there, we were trying a slate call, we were trying a box call, we tried a glass call, nothing. Completely 100%. The only thing we didn't do was stand up and do a little dance. Um, can't do a mouth call. Them diaphragm calls, man, they get me. You ever been to the dentist and they go to put the X-ray, them little X-ray things in your mouth with that little dispenser with the circle on there? Every single time that thing gets me, I'll be like, it gets me every single time. And every time I try to do a diaphragm call, it gets me every single time. And they say, you could trim them things. They're supposed to fit your mouth. No. The last time I tried it, I trimmed so hard there wasn't nothing left of the call. So I just could not do it. But I have seen, and I haven't found any videos on there. There is this wooden uh diaphragm holder. So you put the diaphragm in that, but then you hold the wooden part in your mouth and you blow through it. It's kind of like the insert of a duck call. I would think it more be like on the crow call side. That's the way it kind of looked. But has anybody tried one of them? I definitely would think that would be very, very interesting if that would work, because when you're using a slate or a box call, you're having to use your hands. And when the bird is strictly in front of you, you either can't move your hands to use the call, or you can't put the call down to then pull your gun up to get on it. That's where the people that use a mouth call, they're already in position. There is a huge advantage to a mouth call, but like I said, I can't use one. So I would think that it would be very interesting if that wooden holder actually made any difference. So if anybody's ever used one of them or have a brand or a model that they like, let me know for sure, because I definitely want to up my game. And it would definitely, every single time I feel like the bird is like straight in front of me. Like I never get the birds like from the side. Like they are always looking at me. And that's where the box call and the slate calls are disadvantaged 100%. I feel, which, don't mean a whole lot. So we were definitely practicing the taking patience in this turkey. Like I said, as soon as that joker hit the ground, he gobbled one time, and that was it for 45 minutes. And then, sure enough, when he hit that field, now also the wind was blowing at like 20 miles per hour. I mean, it was roaring. Now, did that have anything to do with it? Could he not hear the call? It's highly possible. The saw purrs, maybe he didn't even hear it because he was upwind and we were downwind. There is a chance that that bird may have never even heard us calling. I don't know. I'm not saying he did or didn't, but it was very interesting. It's very frustrating when turkeys, man, I swear they're the hardest animal I've ever hunted. They will, for a bird that has a brain that is about the size of a pea that can whoop your butt as much as a turkey. It's just unreal. But hey, it is what it is, and it is one super fast season. We get for South Carolina, they're trying to get the population of the turkeys up. You have April the 3rd through May the 3rd. So basically, the way some of the where Easter is coming, Easter Sunday, and then event that I got to go to, I basically have 4 more weekend mornings left. That's it. And the season's over. We talk about waterfowl season, man. Waterfowl, I can't wait to waterfowl, and I love waterfowl. Then when waterfowl is over, it's turkey season. Turkey season. Man, I can't wait for turkey season. And this is the shortest season ever. Now, granted, I am grateful that I have got the opportunity this year to go to Texas to get that Rio. That extended my turkey season 100%. So hopefully next year, working on that Florida trip, that's where I want to go next year. I want to scratch Florida off, go down there towards the Keys, get me one of them long-legged. Some people would say that they're not a species, but right now they are a species. Some people say they're just Easterns with longer legs. I don't know. I feel like their tail feathers is a little bit darker. Is it maybe because they're closer to the equator? It's highly possible. I don't know. But at the moment, it is a species, and we're definitely trying to get that slam done. But until then, that's how it goes. Some statistics here on turkey hunting. There are over 3 million people in the U.S. that is engaged in turkey hunting annually. 3 million people. I thought that number was pretty impressive. 1.7 million of them are estimated to pursue wild turkeys in the spring when the gobblers are most active and vocal. We in South Carolina, we lost our fall season many years ago. I don't even remember how long ago that was, but we used to have 2 seasons and now we only have one. So we are definitely only got that one spring season. Um, the NWTF, the National Wild Turkey Federation, has the statistics, and it says annual harvest, which would have been in 2021, estimated nearly 250,000 turkeys were harvested in spring alone. In 2021, 250,000 wild turkeys. That's the ones that were reported. And I promise you, I guarantee you, you get back in some of these backwoods up in the mountains, I guarantee you they ain't reported. And how many turkeys get eaten by predators. So it was just reported that nearly 250 were taken by hunters. So top states, what do y'all think the top states is? I was close on one. One of them I didn't even take in consideration. Some of the top states are Missouri, Pennsylvania, and Florida. So Missouri, I think I said Missouri first. It should have been Missouri, Pennsylvania, and Florida, if I said that right. Can't do an instant replay at this moment. So Missouri says it often leads the spring turkey harvest with 60,000 plus turkeys harvested annually. And then Pennsylvania, that's the one that kind of threw me off. I really wasn't thinking Pennsylvania if somebody would ask me where the turkeys are. I would have thought more like Tennessee, Kentucky kind of deal, but they're listing it as Pennsylvania with 40,000 turkeys in the spring. And then it goes into Florida. And that's what also blew my mind. Florida is known for the larger turkey. Roughly 30,000 turkeys are harvested. On a guided hunt, they always say the Florida trip is the most expensive. You would think where the Florida turkey is well down there near Miami, closer to Miami area. That seems like a lot of birds a year taking 30,000 turkeys. So I'd like to know how many turkeys were taken in South Carolina in 2024. Let's look that up. Turkey, South Carolina turkey 2024. So last year we had different zones. So it's saying in 2024, and this is on just this page that I'm looking at, based on the reports, 75 jakes and 760 adult gobblers were harvested of a total of 835 on various WMAs in 2024. So 835 on WMAs, game management, and then the year before that, 833. So it doesn't give me the numbers on private land. So it only give me public, which is game management, and I don't see private. And if I do see it, it consists of a lot of reading. So let's see here. Those were the hunt. So it's saying number of turkey hunters, even though all individuals receiving turkey tags were eligible to hunt, now this is for South Carolina, only 62% indicated that they actually hunted turkeys. Based on the figure, approximately 47,700 participated in turkey hunting in 2024, and a 1% increase from 2023. In South Carolina, the highest individual hunters were Berkeley, Lawrence, Union, Fairfield, and Orangeburg. That's pretty interesting. But I don't see where the total. There it is, right there. All right, in 2024 for South Carolina was the fourth year of using the electronic harvesting report for wild turkeys. They were showing 9,752 turkeys reported through the check app. So almost 10,000 turkeys last year in South Carolina. So that's I don't know. When I look at that, and then I look at Florida and Pennsylvania and then Missouri, if you're talking Florida, 30,000, Pennsylvania, 40,000, Missouri, 60,000, and then you throw in that little number of South Carolina, 10,000, which it was only 7. What is this year's number going to be? If last year's number almost had 1,000 Jakes, well, it might not have been 1,000. That might have been a high number. 568 Jakes, close to 1,000. Hey, you take that out this year, and the fact that last year you could shoot 3 birds, this year you can only shoot 2 birds. What's our numbers going to be this year? I mean, it's almost to the point that just looking at the facts and the statistics, hey, you might as well just go somewhere else to hunt. I mean, it looks like your chances of getting a turkey is higher in Missouri. So it looks like if you're anywhere near Missouri, you might want to go to Missouri to hunt a turkey. I don't know how many tags you can get, but they sure do got more turkeys. And it would be the same turkey that we have. They have the Eastern also, the Eastern turkey. So economical impact of turkey hunting. In 2016, it was estimated to be around $4.2 billion. That's the economic impact for turkey hunting in the United States. $4.2 billion. And like I said, that was only a month long for South Carolina. Now, that ain't all of South Carolina billing. That's the whole United States. But most states are a month long. Some maybe a month and a half. I don't know too many that's got 2 months unless you do spring and fall. But let's just say 1 month. In 1 month, all the states, $4.2 billion. That's a huge contribution to the economy. Now, I know some of them is probably like duck hunting. It's the gas stations where you stop in and you get some Scooby snacks. You know, probably new gear, new calls, shotgun shells. I know a lot of people switching to TSS, and I highly recommend TSS. Some people are going to be like, oh my God, I'm not paying that much money for TSS. But think about it. You only get 2 birds in South Carolina. You spend $50 to $75, you can use that box at least 2 years. And the amount of pellets is unreal. So the population, the turkeys were almost nearly extinct in the 1900s due to overhunting and habitat loss. And I think that's got a lot to do with where I'm at, where I hunt at. 30 years ago, let's say just 20 and 30 years ago, there wasn't as many houses in South Carolina as there is now. A lot of the houses are now big subdivisions. A lot of these big oak trees are now got cut out. They're pine trees. They're constantly taking these trees and pulping them. Back in my younger days, I remember them doing more fire control, fire burns. I have seen an uptick on burning for sure. That's a whole nother topic on especially control burns. But there are approximately 7 million wild turkeys in North America per the NWTF population numbers. 7 million turkeys. I know South Carolina is trying to work on it. What could make it better? I don't know. Everybody has an opinion on what could do better. Like I said, if we only had 7,000 turkeys took last year, and you can't kill a tom this year, and you lost a turkey tag. Whew, them numbers are going to probably be very interesting next year. I I don't know. Maybe it'll be higher. Who's to say? Who knows? On average, a turkey hunter has about a 25 to 30. That's sad. That statistically, that's probably, yeah, that's probably true. On average, a turkey hunter has about 25 to 30% success rate during the spring hunts. Um, yeah, I 100% believe that. I mean, it is one of the hardest animals that I hunt. Like, I don't know. Their eyesight is so good. And I really think it has a lot to do with the land, like private lands. We don't have, I mean, if somebody said name 10 people who has 100 acres these days, that's hard to do. 20 years ago, there was a lot of farmland. I mean, there was tons of people that had 100 plus acres. Them 100 plus acres now have hundreds of thousands of houses on them. So first time hunters may have a lower success rate, but participate is still high, with many getting the thrill of chasing without harvesting a turkey. I went 4 years before I got my first turkey. Yeah. The average age of a hunter is often compared to other forms of hunter. Many hunters in the demographic are older or middle aged to senior. I think that thing just called me out. I mean, just because I got gray hair is what this thing's saying. With many years of experience. Yeah. But the sport is grabbing a lot of younger hunters, and there's definitely a lot of youth and women now participating in this sport. Um, it's talking about weather here, weather impacts. Now, there are some people that say, man, I love to go hunt on windy, rainy days. When they say wind days, you want to get out in the field. They're gonna be out there trying to get them bugs. They don't like wind. They don't want to be in the woods. I don't know. I got mixed reports how I feel about that, but that's how I feel. I don't know, but clear, cool mornings are often ideal for turkey hunting. This morning would have been a great day probably to be out there. It says the box call is considered one of the most efficient turkey calls. The box calls has an 80% efficiency rate. And I agree to that, because with a box call, man, you really could get down on a box call and really make that thing sound loud and control how quietly you want that thing to sound. But again, when that bird is right there in front of you in a field, your hands, you can't pick your gun up. That is where a mouth call does come into great play. Um, let's see here. Gender and age of turkeys hunted. Um, talking about gobblers. Hunters often aim for a mature bird, but young males called jakes are also harvested. Typically 25% to 40% of the annual harvest is jakes. Um, a lot of people have, like, turkey hunting is almost like deer hunting, and what they call jakes and spikes. Some people say if it's brown, it's down. If it's got horns, it's down. Uh, it still tastes the same. Same way with jakes. They're like, well, it's a turkey. Still going to eat like a turkey. And a jake is only next year's tom. So, I mean, I can't, You have some people debating that too many toms are beating up on the. I mean, too many jakes are beating up on the toms, and the toms can't get with the hen, which then the jakes can't do. They're not mature enough to be mating. The tom can't do his deed, so that throws a year off of. I don't know. I'm not a scientist of turkeys by any means. You know, I think when you bring up a turkey, when you bring up a topic of whatever you're hunting, you're going to have people on both sides of the fence, regardless. You talk about duck hunting. We need to lower the numbers. We need to raise the numbers. We should only hunt drakes. We shouldn't shoot hens. You know, there's whatever the topic is, you're going to have yays and nays on both sides. But when 25 and 40% of them are jakes, I don't know. We're definitely either going to see something change in South Carolina with our new rule, or it's going to stay the same. I'm not sure. Like I said, it's going to be very interesting to see the numbers. Um, one of the things it talks about here is declining population in some area. Yeah, like certain states like Iowa, South Dakota have seen huge different population numbers, habitat loss, changes in the land use. You know, farming has completely changed. Uh, the no-till, the way the farmer is belling. I mean, there's so much different stuff in the technology that farmers use now. So that goes back to both sides of the fence. Do you tell the farmer he can't do his his land the way he wants to do it because of a bird? The farmer only wants money. I mean, most farmers I know are not the richest. They may look rich, they may have a lot of money, but you know how a lot of people, you look at their house and be like, man, that's $1 million house. These farmers have $1 million tractors and live in $100,000 house. So you know, the farmer's looking out for him. He's not really looking out for turkeys. That's the same way that duck hunting is. Some of this practices that we have changed in farming has impacted other animals. So changes in the land use 100%. Um, you know, some of these places are now putting up solar panels. I don't know. Is very interesting. So, conservationist efforts. It says that over 10 million acres of habitat has been improved to restore the wild turkey and different programs. 10 million acres is a lot. Um, you know, typically our game management doesn't come in the same time that private land does, but this year it did. Will they change that next year? I don't know. Like I said earlier, you can't hunt on game management on Sundays. Um, will they take more days? I don't know. It's always something changing. You know, some of these states are definitely changing out of town people, non-residents, license. Um, some states have the first opening weekend can only be residential hunting, and then the next week is non-residential. Uh, they're doing that. They're throwing all kind of different little curveballs in there. You know, as a turkey hunter in South Carolina, you know, I feel like that's our birds. Should we get the first week and non-residents come in the second week? Some people would say, yeah, that's very fine. Let's do that. But then on the flip side, what did I say earlier? This is a $4 billion industry. Just turkey hunting, not deer hunting, nothing else. $4 billion. Now you start You start as a state, you start saying, hey, you non-residents people, you can't come but hunt but half the days. Well, these people are going to say, well, that's fine. There's only 7,000 birds took in your state. I'm just going to go to Missouri that has 60,000, and now that state gets all the money. So there, like I said, there's both sides to these arguments, and who's right, who's wrong, I don't know. Hey, Jeff, welcome. So a turkey can fly short distances up to 55 miles per hour. That was pretty interesting, but usually prefer to run on the ground. 100% that bird Sunday ran on the ground. It looked like a white-tailed deer the way that turkey threw that tail up and took off running. Says the world's record of the heaviest turkey harvested was 37 pounds and was taken in Florida. On my trip going to Texas, I had a turkey run across the interstate in front of me, and I had to slam on brakes because I was like, man, I'm about to get a turkey before I even go turkey hunting. But all I could think of was a 20-pound butterball turkey going through my radiator and ending my trip 100% right there on the side of the road. Man, I've seen a lot of turkeys go through windshields, 20 to 30 pounds at 70 miles per hour, 100% could do some damage. So the turkey's eyesight is one of the sharpest in the animal kingdom, which has a field of vision of nearly 360 degrees, which is very interesting. So that was some very interesting statistics on turkey hunting that I felt like was pretty interesting. Like I said, I'd like to know y'all's comment on decoys. You know, do you use them? Don't use them. If you spook one, do you go out there and move it, or you just sit there and just say whatever? Kansas is limiting out of state waterfowls to certain days. Yep, that's what I was talking about, Jeff. I don't know if you came in or before or after that. Yeah, some of these states are, saying, hey, we're going to look after our people first. And, for the people in Kansas, it makes 100%, but they're losing money. They're losing money from people coming in, the businesses, the small business, the gas station people. They're losing money. Now, some politicians don't rightly care. Some politicians don't care about hunters at all. I understand that. But will it make the population of turkeys increase? Who knows? I always wonder about these statistics, and we really never get to see the true data. So do they statistically give us all the data that we need? I don't know. Sometimes I'll put my tinfoil hat on and conspiracy think all the time. But like I said, it was a $4 billion industry in the United States, just turkey hunting. So I can imagine duck and deer hunting is well above that. I mean, you think that's why I was talking to somebody earlier today, talking about deer hunting. Hey, deer hunting starts at like September and goes all the way to January. I mean, there's some states that hunt them all the way up in February. Deer season is forever long. Now, granted, you got to keep buying tags for does, but around here, hey, you get as many doe tags as you want and probably fill them all. And I don't even know if it takes out any of the population. That's not the case for turkey hunting. I definitely think, we could do a better job of managing. How is that? Like I said earlier, that is definitely up for discussion. Is it the way we managing the grounds? Is it maybe not taking care of these predators? Man, in South Carolina, the coyotes and the hogs. I mean, they're just growing. And coyotes, what I understand from coyotes, if you go in there and you put a hurting on that population, that female will have more pups next year. If the population is high, she will cut back on the pups. Like her body regulates to keep the population under control. Uh, and hogs, I mean, there's a lot of places that won't even. I ain't gonna say harvest. I want to say refine, and it ain't refined. You ever have them thoughts that hit you and then you forget? Processing. There we go. There's a lot of places that cannot process wild hogs. They can process hogs that you got in your yard, but they can't process wild hogs. A lot of people say they taste different. I don't know. I'm not really a sausage kind of guy. I mean, I definitely like bacon, but me and sausage, we don't get along. I like sausage. It wants to kill me from the inside out. So um, I don't know that after 40, where people tell you after 40 you start taking Tums. That is definitely true with sausage. I can eat sausage in the morning, and it feels like poltergeist is trying to come out of me all day long. So I try to only stick to bacon. But these hogs are just tearing up the farmlands. I mean, they're just everywhere. I know places that farmers here in South Carolina, they will let you come hunt as many hogs as you want, and most of the time they just leave the hog there. I mean, it's just something that's hindering them from farming, and they're totally multiplying and getting worse. So I don't know. There's a lot that we could do on our own. So, like I said, it's going to be very interesting to see. Today's the 9th. I mean, we're almost halfway through the season. I mean, if you look at it on the calendar, maybe 4 more days, maybe 5 more days, we're halfway through the season. I mean, like it feels like it just literally started. Here we are on the second weekend. We get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weekends. 5 weekends. That's all we get. And it's gone. And then we're going to be talking about the next season. Jeff says his season starts Saturday. You ready to go, Jeff? Jeff, out there where you at, does decoys work or not work? Are you a decoy kind of guy, like just hens, or hens with a Jake, or no decoys? And I know that take about 20, 30 seconds before you, if I ever see, when I see that response. But definitely we got some cooler weather this weekend. I hope that really plays in the turkey hunting. I'm telling y'all, I so depends on the situation. Yeah. That's usually what ours do too, Jeff. We always say it depends on the situation, and then that situation is always second guessing. When the bird comes out and he runs off, you're like, well, I guess I shouldn't have had the decoy. And then when you don't see nothing, or it hangs up and be like, dang, I should have had the decoy. I'm telling you, for a bird that has a pea-sized brain, it will second guess you more than anything else. I mean, if a turkey 100% smell as good as a deer with the eyesight that they got, I don't know if we could kill them. I mean, honestly, if the turkeys had a deer scent or a deer scent, it wouldn't be a scent. If the turkey had the smell of a deer, we would be like totally zero. Like what did I say that statistic was? 20 to 30% of hunters get turkeys. Yeah, that number would be highly low if a turkey could smell us. Because I 100% in the afternoons go on my blue jeans and just throw my work clothes and throw my leaf suit on. Man, if I had to come home and take a bath and all that before, I mean, it's crazy. And all these turkey hunters are now posting these pictures of snakes and stuff. I can't stand a snake. I am scared to death of a snake. I'm more looking on the ground so I don't step on a snake more than paying attention to where the turkeys are. I ain't even gonna lie. Uh, that's one thing that bothers me about walking in. Uh, I hate walking in the dark without a light because I do not want to step on a snake. Jeff says if the hens are on the eggs, then a hen and a jake will drive an old time crazy decoy. I mean, yeah, I don't think ours is on the have started laying eggs yet. I think maybe another week or two when the hens will start pulling away from the toms. I think we're about a week away from that split. Right now, I know they're still together. Um, maybe a week and a half is when we should start seeing the separation. So, and I know that's here, and I know you're a long, many miles between us, but hopefully your Saturday goes better than my last Saturday, and you report back next week that you stamped a tag out. Um, very. I wish you well, my friend. If nothing else, I hope you have a great breakfast or lunch after the fact. uh, that's I always talk about eating, and especially that's what making a trip. My buddy who came down to hunt with me, I told him, I said, "Hey, we'll go early and we'll get breakfast." When he got there, he hates McDonald's like 100%. He would rather eat anything but McDonald's. So he's from a bigger town, and I didn't tell him where we were going to eat. So when he arrived, I told him, I said, "Hey, you ready to go get something to eat?" He was like, "Yep." I was like, "All right, well, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. You have three options. You have gas station food, which we would have to pay through a window with like a little tray that comes out that hands you whatever junk food you want, or we could possibly go to the Huddle House or McDonald's because that is absolutely all we got open at 5 o'clock in the morning." And so we hit up McDonald's, and he didn't say nothing. But I mean, it was either eat that or Pop Tart. So um, Jeff says if it's mating season, then a hen and a tom works the best. He says he can't go Saturday. It's the 39th wedding anniversary. Well, congratulations. Happy anniversary. Um, she can go with you in the woods. Tell her you got a surprise in the woods. Maybe you could sneak off sometime this weekend and go, Jeff. But like I said, plan to hunt this weekend, and then obviously next weekend is Easter, and definitely going to be celebrating the coming of Easter, and uh, Christ dying on the cross for us. So next weekend would definitely be Easter weekend for a lot of hunters in South Carolina. So that Sunday 100% will probably give a lot of birds a rest. So that then gives us two other weekends, and then that last weekend you only get a Saturday because it came in on a third and goes out on a third, which is on a Saturday. So man, I just really want to get one on public. I don't know why. just I guess the sheer pressure of the birds and the people that hunt them. I don't know. Just says you can shoot 3 bearded birds. Yeah, we down to 2, and it better be fully tail feather as an adult and a 5 inch. Is it 5 or 6 inches? I think it might be 6 inches beard. I'd have to go back and look that up. It's one of the two, 5 or 6 inches, but basically it has to be a full adult beard. So, like I said, when I threw out them statistics earlier tonight, I definitely would like to see what it's like statistically in South Carolina. Like last year, it says 7,000, close to 8,000 birds were shot, and about 600 of them were jakes. So now that we can't shoot any jakes and you took a bird, I don't know. Next year numbers, I would probably say would be lower. Just throwing that out there. I think it would be lower, but the next year would be very interesting. Like, did it make a difference? Were there more birds the next year? I think that's where we may see the numbers. It may take 2 more cycles before we see true numbers. I would not think that the numbers were come out that quick, but hey, that's what they said about the pintail too. Oh, there's the pintails not going to be around. We're fixing to. Nobody's going to be able to shoot none for a couple years, and then what they do the next year, heck, we get an extra pintail. Which, I mean, like, what happened? One season they magically reproduce more pintails. Like, where did that come from? I don't know. So a bearded hen, a jake, or a tom all at the same time. Yeah, you shoot a bearded hen around here, and whew, I'd hate to know what that price might cost you. That was one of my concerns, Jeff, was when I was out at Texas. One of the seasons, and I can't remember because now that's been a week and a half, and I can't remember what I did yesterday. Texas, you can hunt a bearded hen in one of the seasons. I can't remember which one it was. And when that turkey came out on the first turkey, in which I haven't put the video together yet, the turkey comes out. It didn't fan. It had a beard. I'm like, well, is that a jake or is that a hen? I really don't know nothing about a Rio. That was 100% the first time I ever seen a Rio. First time hunting a Rio. Like, is that a jake? I don't know. So I didn't shoot. And then when that one ran off and the other one comes running at me fully in strut, 100%, I knew the difference on that one, obviously. But yeah, it's definitely very interesting, especially when you go to different areas to hunt. Like if I came out there to hunt with Jeff, I wouldn't know anything. I'd be lost like a cat in a rainstorm. Now Jeff come to South Carolina. Now, granted, he's been to Georgia a few years. He probably would know what to do. But you know what I'm saying? When you go somewhere else, everything is new. You can't shoot hens in the fall. Yeah, we used to have a season where you could shoot hens, and that's long gone. So I don't even know the last time that's been years. I know this is my 5th year of hunting, and we hadn't had a fall season, and I could not tell you when the last time you could shoot a hen. But I got some cards here of some vendors that I sent out emails this week, trying to get them on the show. So I definitely hope to have some different guests on upcoming. Hope they accept my invitation. There was a couple of interesting people that I met at some shows, and I definitely want to get them on and talk to them. So if you know somebody that would be interesting to talk to, any kind of hunter, any kind of turkey, deer, mule, coyote, raccoon, heck, if they're a turtle hunter, um, send them my information. I definitely would like to have them on. One thing I saw was very interesting this week. I saw a video of a turtle coming out of the hole. It was at some rehab animal place. There was a big old rattlesnake in this hole with this turtle, and the rattlesnake's all curled up. This big old turtle comes marching out of the hole, steps on that snake's head. Like I'm talking about that big old turtle just put his head on that snake and walked on by, and the snake's like, man, what was that? I thought it was very interesting that the snake, it's almost like turkeys and deer. Like when they're out there, they pay neither one of them any attention. But then when we're out there, it's like, oh my God, who's this? Oh man, that's a human. I gotta run. And that's how we are with snakes, They're out there just chilling, and here we are. It's like, oh my God, there's a snake. I may poop in my pants. I don't know. I'm not gonna say that I wouldn't, because I don't like snakes. And if you ever see me running on video, one of two things is happening. There's a snake, or there's something bigger than whatever caliber that I have can't take it down, because there's not many times I run. So, all right, well, been on an hour. Hopefully everybody's having a good week. Be safe out there. A lot of hunters on game management. Man, every state's got something different on wearing orange. Um, so when you out there turkey hunting, be careful. Um, it is getting warmer, so that makes them critters come out, and the freaking ticks. Uh, that's another thing about turkey season. You don't see that many ticks later on. At least we don't. But ticks are crazy in the springtime, and you definitely do not want to get any kind of bitten by them. This year I used the spray that's the double or triple deep spray on my clothes to try to deter any kind of ticks. But we killed one after the fact, and heck, I mean, we were already done turkey hunting by at least an hour. Now we did go look at some other areas to hunt, and could have got a tick there. I don't know, but man, that tick will mess you up real bad. Jeff says the ticks are already bad there. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how them jokers made it on Noah's Ark, but same way with a mosquito. Like what's a mosquito and a gnat used for? I'm sure something eats them like a bat, and they have a purpose. But them getting in my ear and singing tunes that I can't understand is a little ridiculous. If the gnat can get in my ear and tell me a story, or hey buddy, 400 yards, there's a tom over there, that I might would understand having a mosquito and a gnat den. But right now, in my ear for 20 minutes, I can't hear nothing there. I'm like, man. And then you over there whacking yourself. Um, and turkey over there be like, what is wrong with that tree over there moving like it's moving? But all right, well, glad y'all tuned in. Go back if you just came in late. Go back and listen to the beginning. I definitely have some interesting statistics, and I am grateful for every single one of you that come on every single week. Definitely growing. Couldn't do it without y'all. Um, it's harder to get some guests on, and I enjoy getting guests on. I hope y'all enjoy them too. We're at 23,528 subscribers. Um, like I said, greatly appreciate every single one of you. Um, I got a lot of videos that I need to edit, but I can't edit between turkey season and sucker season. So one of them's got to give. And at the moment, I can't give up my time on soccer with the son, and I can't give up turkey season. But I got some great videos coming out. So definitely keep your eyes open on the weekends. That's when I drop the videos on Saturdays and Sundays. Hopefully, y'all enjoy them videos. And like I said, every Wednesday at 8 o'clock. I appreciate all y'all tuning in. So, y'all stay safe out there. Go getting them turkeys. And we'll see y'all next week. And here's a word from our sponsor, Matthew Knight with Satura Investors out of Charlotte. There's the information. The link to his website is scrolling across the banner down at the bottom, and it's also in the description. Today's episode is about helping business owners and working professionals like you who share a passion for the outdoors, shooting sports, zeroing them in to their long-term financial goals. So if you need any information or contact or any other questions, contact Matthew. Also, go check out Salt Creek Ammo. This triple curl TSS is some of the best TSS I have ever shot. This is for waterfowl edition. It's made for waterfowl. So if you're going to shoot a species that you've been chasing for a long time, don't use no cheap ammo. You pay good money to go on a trip. You got great guns. Don't cheap out on cheap ammunition. This TSS is amazing. It's got number 7s, number 8s, and he has number 9s. So go check out saltcreekammo.com. Here you will find any kind of ammo you're looking for. He has custom loads. TSS in 10 gauge, 12 gauge, 20 gauge, low pressure ammunition. You got Predator ammunition, turkey ammunition, anything you're looking for, give Keith a call. Also to the channel, Kicks Industries, most people will know them as Kick Chokes, has came on board, and I have done a bunch of series lately on waterfowl choke tubes, turkey choke tubes, deer choke tubes. So go check out Kick's website for all of the chokes that can fit your guns. Flint Ridge Hauling Service, LLC, has partnered up with the channel. It is your go-to provider for all your hauling needs. They are not just any hauling service. They are an active DOT interstate hotshot hauling provider. Flint Ridge Service, LLC, prides itself in its reliable transportation services. This team ensures that your cargo is delivered safely and on time no matter the distance. Whether you need to transport goods across the county or state line, they have the capacity and the expertise to meet your hauling needs. Equipped with a smooth riding 40-foot air ride equipped trailer and a max hauling capacity of 20,000 pounds, there's no load too big or too small that they can't handle. Look no further than Flint Ridge Hauling Service, LLC.